Hello, friends. This is Love Johar. Thank you so much for watching this channel and thank you so much for tuning into this video. Today, we will understand the first concept of ITIL 4, the very first concept, the very basic concept of ITIL 4, which is what is a service, guys? How do you define a service? What is a service all about? So, let us try to understand. So, as you can see, in any organization, IT has two layers mainly. The first layer talks about building the applications, building the core applications that the business needs. Okay, and the second layer is the service layer. The service layer main objective is the support, because it has to ensure that it is providing support to all the infrastructure which is there, to all the applications which are being created. So here the main objective is to deliver the support that is needed in order to run the products and the hardware that the product layer is building. Okay, so in today's world, all the services are IT enabled, so we call them ITES, IT enabled services. Okay, so most of the organizations these days are IT enabled. Without IT, I do not think there would be any organization, guys. It's really important and basic thing nowadays. So the first thing we would like to understand is difference between a product and a service. So what is a product, guys, and what is a service? So when you get the laptop from your office, is it a product or is it a service? Just think about it. Because when you get the laptop from the office, it depends entirely upon whether the kind of model the organization has chosen for that laptop. If the laptop is being leased by the organization from, let's say, you know OEM like Dell or HP for 5 years, let's say the organization has leased 100 laptops, then absolutely it's a service. Because in lease what happens is, any breakage, any physical damage to the laptop, any liquid spillage, if it happens, you simply replace the laptop. You simply ask the service provider that this laptop has gone bad, and they will immediately, as per the SLAs in the lease contracts, you will get a replacement laptop, as simple as that. But now, in the other scenario, if there is no lease agreement as such, and the organization has just procured the laptop for as a product, and in this case, if you have paid the full amount for the laptop and procured it, but now in this case, if the laptop gets break, a physical damage or anything happens to the laptop, it's your responsibility to make sure that you take it to the service center, and maybe they will repair or not repair, because in some conditions, in some conditions it's not at all repairable. So here you have to make sure that you understand the difference between both the models. So in the first model, you do not have to worry about any cost and risk. You only have to pay the lease amount. And in the second model, you have to worry about each and everything, because you are the sole owner responsible for the laptop. So this is how it works, guys. Similar to the case of Uber, taking your own car to the office, and having the headache of parking, having the headache of making sure the car is safe. No need to hassle about anything, just take Uber, and you can go anywhere wherever you want, without the need of worrying about any parking or space where you will park the car and all. And you just have to pay the Uber cost for the travel. But now, if you are using your own car, if in case of any accident, God forbids, then you have to bear the entire cost of the servicing of the car. And also, even if there is no accident, then also you will have to pay the maintenance cost for the car, because you will make sure that the car is working fine, only then you can utilize it. So here also you can see there is a clear difference between the product and a service. So if I simply take the basic difference. So with products, the ownership of cost and risk remain with the customer, with you, because you are using the product. But however, if you lease or if you pay only for the service, then the ownership of cost and risk remain with the service provider. Okay, you will be only paying the service consumption cost, because what is service consumption cost now? In case of laptop, the lease cost that you will be paying is the service consumption cost, and similarly in case of the Uber, the service consumption cost is the fare that you are paying. Okay, now some of you must be thinking, what is the cost and risk that I'm talking about here? So don't worry, in the next step I'm about to discuss them. But first of all, let us try to understand what is a product now, because we have mentioned this term a lot of times. So it's basic to understand all the definitions one by one. So a product is nothing but a configuration of resources which are created by the organization, which are potentially valuable for the customers. Okay, so a product is basically how you channel your resources to create something tangible. Okay, a product can combine different services together as well. Okay, so you may be offering a couple of services together and creating a product out of it. So after that, what is a service? So now this is the standard definition as per the ITIL, and this is really important. That's why I have oranged it out. So very important from an exam perspective as well. So if you want, you can take a note of this. So a service standard definition is: service is a means of enabling value co-creation that the customer wants to achieve without the ownership of specific cost and risk. This we have already taken care of. Okay, what are the different costs and risks? Okay, so service is basically a means of enabling value co-creation that the customer wants to achieve. So customer wants to achieve what? Value co-creation. We will see about the term as well in the upcoming videos, but today we will understand what are the different costs and risks. So we'll go one by one. Okay, so we provide services to our customers and make sure the customer requirement are met. Okay, so why do we provide services? We provide services to the customers in order to make sure that their requirements, their expectations are met. This is why we provide the services. And what do you need in order to deliver a service, guys? You need people, process, and technology. Three things you need in order to deliver any service. Okay, so how do you create value for a customer? Because I just mentioned that you, by meeting the requirements of the customer, by meeting the expectations of the customer, we are trying to create value for the customer. Okay, how do you create value? By making sure that the customer requirements and expectations are met. It's basically not only requirements, it's expectations as well. Okay, so now service basically, as we have already discussed multiple times now, providing value to the customer by meeting customer requirements where the customer should be free from. Try to understand this, very important. Free from any cost and risk. Okay. Now, what are the different types of cost and risk? As mentioned before, we will have a look now. What are the different types of cost and risk? So, cost is basically cost of rework. Okay. What is rework now? For example, let's say you are building a data center. Okay, you are building a data center, or you are building a new software altogether for the first time. So in both the scenarios, there will be a complete chance that somebody there will be a lot of rework. Okay, because you might make mistakes, because you are doing it for the first time yourself. You have not created a data center before, you have not created a software before, so there might be repetition of a lot of things. And what will happen is, because of this repetition rework, there will be additional cost, because you have to pay additional man hours for this. Along with that, there will be hardware costs that you have to bear. Let's say you are building a data center, you have to add all the hardware, huge cost involved. You have to resource, you have to add resource cost as well. How much manpower you will need. Okay, you have to add all the software costs. What kind of licensing will you need? Okay, so all these are costs that you have to bear if you are doing it by yourself without any service. Okay, and what are the risk? Risk is, you know the data center is down because of which you cannot create the software anymore that you wanted to create. Resource availability, the person has fallen sick now, who will develop the software? The developer is senior developer is not there anymore, he has fallen sick for a couple of weeks. So these are all the risks, guys. You have to make sure you understand it. And if your services are down, there is no one to look into the issues. This is again a huge risk. You need somebody to look into your services if they are down, and make sure that the services are up and running again. So what are all these things? These are risks to the services if you are managing by yourself. Okay, that's the difference between cost and risk. So I'm sure that by now you will have a clear understanding about what is the cost and what is the risk. Okay, now how you provide the services to a customer is the next thing to understand. Okay, how do you provide service to a customer? So two ways to do that. Okay, firstly, you do that through any new project. You know, you create a project, you start a new project for anything new that you want to introduce to the organization, or you can do that through continual operations, the work that you do on a day to day basis. So, what if you do the project? What if you provide service to a project? Then temporary projects are temporary endeavors, and they have a specific start date and an end date. So you have to make sure that the new project, whatever you have, let's say for example, building infrastructure, okay, or building mobile apps, building a new software. So basically building up the customer requirements is a project, because that's how it works, building any new application or a website. So projects are temporary endeavors having a start date and an end date. So that is how you can provide a service. On the other hand, operations are not temporary, these are always there. These are day to day operations to ensure that the services are running. Okay, for example, you have service desk function, you have help desk function, which people will always need, because they will always have issues with the hardware, with the software that they are working with, the technology that they are working. There will always be some or the other issues. Okay, and application issues that will can also be there. Okay, and application support needs to happen, because let's say you have created five applications, five softwares, but if you do not have anybody to support the softwares, there would be a chaos. Okay, so I hope now you understand what is service all about. So just going back to the standard definition, is a means of enabling value co-creation that the customer wants to achieve without the ownership of specific costs and risk. We have taken care of this part up till now. Okay, we have taken what are the specific costs and risks that are there if you are trying to pursue the service creation and management of the service by yourself, and what are the differences if you lease the service or if you take the service from a service provider. Okay, so this is basically about it. Now I will not stretch this video anymore, and in the next video we will try to understand what is value co-creation, what is value, what is utility, what is warranty. These are all the basic terms that we have to understand, guys. Okay, so why I started with the service? Because service is basically ITIL 4 starting point, because ITIL 4 is a framework for service delivery, guys. This is the main core area for ITIL 4. If you talk about service delivery, you have to understand first of all what is service all about. That's why I started with defining the main concept, core concept for the service, and I wanted to make sure that you understand this basic term, because it is very necessary to understand from a basic standpoint, and even somebody can ask you in an interview as well. So now I hope after watching this detailed video of 15 minutes you will have a complete clarity about what is a service. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. If you have any friends who are also studying about ITL 4 for the first time, and you are beginner to the IT service delivery industry, to the service desk industry, to the help desk industry, you have come to the right place. And I myself have over around 15 years of experience in the IT service desk industry, and I have also done the foundation certification as well. So you have come to the right place, and I have also conducted a lot of trainings about ITIL 4 in the past as well. Even in YouTube, you can find n number of videos produced by me. But now I wanted to make sure that I cover it in depth so that I can give you practical knowledge, real knowledge, like we discussed all the examples today. We discussed examples about laptops, Uber, building infrastructure, building data center, all the different examples that we took. So I wanted to make sure that everybody understand the concepts in a better way. So thank you so much for watching, guys. And if you have any questions, feel free to add in the comment section. And even if you like the video, feel free to share and like it. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye bye.